Most retirees in Canada are quietly losing thousands of dollars every single year. And the worst part? They have absolutely no idea it's happening. If you're collecting CPP or OAS right now, or if you're about to retire in the next few years, I need you to stop whatever you're doing and watch this video until the very end, because what I'm about to share with you could be the difference between a comfortable retirement and one where you're counting every single dollar. Welcome back to Canada Alert Network. I'm glad you're here, because today we're talking about something that affects millions of Canadian seniors, and almost nobody is talking about it openly. This isn't fear-mongering. This is real money, real consequences, and real mistakes that are happening right now in households across this country. Let's get into it. The biggest retirement mistake costing Canadian seniors thousands isn't about bad investments. It's not about overspending. It's about timing. Specifically, when you decide to take your Canada pension plan and your old age security. And this one decision, made at the wrong moment, can cost you anywhere from $50,000 to over $100,000 over the course of your retirement. Let that number sit for a second. Here's what most people do. They hit 60 or 65, they feel like they've worked their whole life, and they want their money now. That's completely understandable. But here's what the government doesn't exactly advertise in big, bold letters. If you take your CPP early as age 60, your monthly payments get permanently reduced by 0.6% for every single month before your 65th birthday. That adds up to a 36% permanent reduction if you start at 60. 36%. Gone forever. Every month for the rest of your life, you are collecting a fraction of what you actually earned. Now flip that around. If you delay your CPP past age 65 and wait until age 70, your payments increase by 0.7% for every month you wait past 65. That's a 42% increase. So the gap between taking CPP at 60 versus taking it at 70 is not small. It is massive. And for people living into their 80s and 90s, which is increasingly common in Canada, delaying can mean tens of thousands of extra dollars over time. But here's where it gets even more serious, and this is the part that most financial advisors won't spell out clearly enough. The decision isn't just about the math on paper. It's about your health, your other income sources, your tax situation, and your personal circumstances. There is no universal right answer, but there are very common wrong answers. And the most common wrong answer is simply reacting emotionally rather than planning strategically. Let's talk about OAS, Old Age Security. This is the benefit that almost every Canadian over 65 qualifies for, and it comes with its own set of traps. One of the biggest ones is something called the OAS clawback, officially known as the OAS recovery tax. If your net income in retirement exceeds a certain threshold, and these numbers adjust every year, the government starts clawing back your OAS payments. For 2024, that threshold sits around $90,797. For every dollar you earn above that, you lose 15 cents of your OAS, and if your income is high enough, you could lose the entire benefit. Now, I know some of you watching are thinking, well, I don't make that much, so that doesn't apply to me. But here's the trap. When you factor in CPP payments, RRSP withdrawals, rental income, investment income, and other pensions, your income can jump significantly in retirement, sometimes pushing you right into that clawback zone without you even realizing it until tax season hits, and by then, the damage is already done. This is why strategic income planning before you retire isn't optional. It's essential. Converting your RRSP to a RRF at the right time, spacing out your withdrawals carefully, using tax-free savings account income which doesn't count toward your OAS clawback calculation, these are moves that can save you thousands every single year. There's another mistake that's quietly ruining retirements across Canada, and it involves something called pension income splitting. Married couples or common-law partners in Canada can split eligible pension income on their tax returns, potentially pushing income into a lower tax bracket and keeping more money in your pocket. But here's the thing. Many retirees simply don't do this. Either they don't know about it, or they assume their accountant is handling it, and sometimes the accountant isn't catching it either. This is your retirement. You cannot afford to assume. And then there's the issue of Service Canada errors. Yes, errors. The government makes mistakes on CPP calculations more often than people realize. If you haven't already, you should be regularly checking your My Service Canada account to review your CPP statement of contributions. This is the record of every year you worked and contributed to CPP. If there are missing years, incorrect amounts, or periods where your contributions weren't properly recorded, your benefit calculation is wrong. You could be getting less than you're owed, and these errors don't fix themselves. You have to catch them and report them. The people who are winning in retirement in Canada are not necessarily the ones who earned the most during their working years. They're the ones who planned carefully, asked the right questions, and didn't leave money on the table because of assumptions or inaction. The difference between a stressful retirement and a secure one often comes down to decisions made in those critical years right before you stop working. So here's what I want you to take away from this video. 1. Don't make your CPP timing decision based on emotion. Do the math, or sit with a financial planner who actually understands CPP strategy. 2. Understand the OAS clawback before it surprises you at tax time. 3. Look into pension income splitting with your spouse. 4. Log into your My Service Canada account and verify your contribution history. And 5. Stop assuming these things will just work themselves out. They won't. This is your money, money you worked decades for, money you contributed into the system your entire career. You deserve every dollar you've earned, but only if you're proactive enough to protect it. If this video helped you or gave you something to think about, please hit that like button. It genuinely helps more Canadians find this information when they need it most. Subscribe to Canada Alert Network if you haven't already, because we put out content specifically designed to help Canadian seniors and retirees navigate exactly these kinds of issues. And share this with someone you know who is approaching retirement. You might just save them thousands of dollars. I'll see you in the next one. Stay informed, stay protected, and take care of yourself. This is Canada Alert Network, and we've got your back.